Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am Paul Neeson, and I've been eating a raw vegan diet for many, many years, and I've been teaching about health for many, many years. And I do this program to try to help people help themselves to understand more clearly the role of health, and when it comes to diet, particularly, how to do this the right way. Because our body is absolutely so amazing. We can get along with making mistakes for many years, sometimes our whole lives, and not realizing that we could have been doing things better. So I don't necessarily want to say making mistakes. I really want to say we could be doing things better than we're doing them. And I do believe when it comes to health, we should seek continually to find out how to always do better. Because when we're younger, we could eat a particular way, we could live a certain lifestyle, and it seems like no matter what we do, there's no wrong. We're going to feel great. But as we get older in age, we start to noticing those differences that where we kind of missed the mark when we were younger. And even now, if we do something, so when we're little kids or teenagers, we could eat just about anything and feel amazing. But then when we get our 20s and 30s, things change. So if you're a younger person watching this, interested in health, you know, take the advice of others who have been doing this for a long time. And if you've been doing this for a long time and you've had success, don't ever take it that you found the right answer, because we don't know what we don't know, and how much more can we take it? If you ever think you know it all, not necessarily. So let me tell you my particular story and stance on when it comes to health and so on. I've been eating a raw vegan diet, that's raw vegan foods, a vegetarian vegan diet, for many, many years. And over the years, I've experimented with different things just to see what worked best and what didn't. But I got into a place, when I first got into this, I went to the Hippocrates Health Institute, where they promoted a raw food diet with mostly sprouts. The major form of the protein was bean sprouts, and they promoted salads for the healing and the cleansing of the blood. And if you didn't have any particular diseases, they allowed small, low sugar fruits, and some nuts for protein. But that was the nuts were sprouted, and that was the basis of the diet. But the more I got into this and learned, and things that seemed natural to me was getting into growing the food and growing my own food, and just taking it to the next level, not just buying sprouts from the store or buying produce from the store, but seeking out to grow my own food, and doing so, but at the same time growing a lot of fruits and eating a lot of fruits. And when I started this, I was living in a colder environment. I was living in New York, and now I live here in South Florida. And there's many factors when it comes to health. Where is a person starting at? What is a person willing to do? The environment they live in. All of these are determine what's best for one person's particular situation and for their body under these conditions. Well, for myself, I got into a place where I would monitor my blood work. I would take supplements as needed, and I always looked at supplements as a short-term solution to a long-term situation, to figure out why I need supplements, what's going on. And I always got to a place, but then I got to a place, and I'm very athletic. I'm always busy with exercising. I love exercise, and I think it's an essential part when it comes to health. But I got to a place where I was doing all these things, and I was unlike the average so-called person on a raw vegan diet out there. For myself, I didn't have any issue with the weight. A lot of people that get into a raw vegan diet, especially men, they have a tough time keeping on weight. For me, I didn't have that issue. And to this day, I don't have that issue. But I always made sure and taught that sleep and weight are very important. So if you're doing this and you're having a problem with putting on weight, what I have found, it often had to do with lack of sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, your body's not doing the right healing, and that has a lot to do with not putting on enough weight. I mean, calories to a degree, but calories can be deceiving, because some calories are very healthy, and some other calories are empty calories that aren't healthy. So I don't really count calories, because they're so across the board different, and one calorie is not necessarily another calorie. But when it came to the weight, it was the sleeping. Well, I got to a point where I'm 51 years old now, And some of you might claim or say, "Oh, you look so old, so much older." I promise you, without graying my beard, I don't have one wrinkle on my face, and I feel young and I look young. I feel better than I've ever felt in my life, as a matter of fact. But I love my beard, and I'm not going to get rid of it just to look younger. But regardless, I got to a point where I thought I was eating the best diet, because I tell people that we shouldn't be overeating. We should be exercising, getting enough sleep, and all these different things and these principles that I've learned over the years from many people I interviewed and so on. But I got to a point when I would monitor my blood work. For the most part, things were good. Sometimes the cholesterol was a little higher, and I would think, how could I have high cholesterol if I'm a raw vegan? Because there's no animal products in my diet. And I started to see the similarities with other raw vegans. The bone density issue was another issue, and it's something that I had an issue with. I found out through blood tests that there was leaching of calcium from the bones. It wasn't that I wasn't getting enough calcium through my diet and the foods I was eating. It was all just that for some reason my body wasn't utilizing it correctly. And I found out that from a mineral standpoint, when you're not getting the minerals you need, your body's got to get it from somewhere, and often is the bones is where it'll get it from. So I made an adjustment. I realized I was drinking exclusively distilled or reverse osmosis water that had nothing in it at all. And I believe if that's exclusively all you're doing, you're going to leach calcium from the bones. So that's another transition that I made, that I found that out. And just a lot of things I want to share with you here on this show, things I found that make a difference in the long run. In the short run, you're going to feel better. You're going to do amazing eating a raw vegan diet. But I hear stories about people that were one time eating a raw vegan diet, but they changed, or they went back to what they were doing previously because they didn't feel good or something was wrong on a raw vegan diet. And the common pitfalls or mistakes I see is people not doing supplements to make sure they're getting what they're missing, and they're not doing blood work to see what they're missing. And many people eating too much of something, either too much fat or too much sugar or just too much in general. Many people eating late at night, which is another thing I found. If you don't eat late at night, you'll get the proper sleep, the proper healing, and then you won't have that massive weight loss like so many people seem to have when they switch to this type of diet. So the diet or the lifestyle of eating as natural and healthy as possible is great, but when you're doing it in these little ways, and these are things we have to learn, I found that's a big difference between success or not. And I found that much. I was definitely eating too much sugar, and I was definitely just not as in control of things now. And finally, I feel like I'm in a much better place because I finally got my garden in order. And when I first got into this, I used to sprout all the time. I go to Hippocrates. I used to eat all the sprouts. But I got away from that. I used to sometimes sprout some beans in a little jar on my counter. But besides that, I didn't do much. But every time I would juice sprouts or eat sprouts, I just always felt better. And then realizing how much better sprouts are, even with beans and everything, in a sprouted form, and the research that Hippocrates Health Institute has done, and not just a healthy person, but healing from disease, and the important role of the sprouts. There's way more protein in sprouted beans, and the essential amino acids are much more utilized, so it's the highest quality essential amino acids that are building the highest quality protein. Unlike meat, that is the lowest quality protein, just because it has all the essential amino acids, people say it's complete, so they think it's complete, it's healthy. No, it's the complete essential protein or amino acids of the lowest quality source, because your body has to get rid of all the waste that's left over from the animal products that people are eating. And I found out with the sprouts, the nut and seed sprouts, you don't have that issue. So even through digestion, if I have some almonds or something, soaking them prior to consuming them, they just digest much better. And these little things that make a big difference in our health. And over the years, if you just take a handful of almonds, it's one thing if you do it one time, but every single day or over the years. But now if you sprout them, it makes a tremendous difference and how much your body has to work to process these things or not process these things. So these are some of the things I've learned over the years, and I want to share with you and continue to share with you. Please post your comments and questions below the video. I make myself available to do that now. I get a lot of questions on certain platforms throughout wherever I post these things, but so I can't always get to them immediately. But if you are a member of the Raw Life Health Show, I answer those questions within 24 hours. If you're a member of the Raw Life Health Show, rawlifehealthshow.com. If you're not a member, please consider being a member. It's only like $5 a month, maybe $6 a month, and I answer your questions within 24 hours, and you get a 10% discount on all products at the website and so on. So, and there's some videos on there, recipes and other videos that are exclusive. So check that out when you get a chance. So before I go, I'll tell you about another thing is essential fatty acids is another thing that you get a question about, and I've taken tests and I was low in the essential fatty acids, but without wanting to do animal products, how can you get them in your diet? And all the omega fatty acids and everything that our body needs comes from wild greens, and this is purslane, or purslane. It's a wild green, and I'm going to start growing that. And everything I do, I monitor through my website just to my blood work to confirm that what I'm doing is working, what I'm teaching is valid, and so on. So I want to help you figure that out. So thank you for listening. Post your questions below, and look at all the other videos. I have thousands of videos here all over on the website, and I'm here to help you. And I want to support you in your health journey to whether it's overcoming disease or just being healthier. So everybody have a blessed day and have a great raw life.